Hi Frank, welcome to Berlin. So you flew from, I don't know where you flew from. You flew from your holiday vacation, right?
Yes, last week I was just in Sicily, and I'm based in Vilnius, Lithuania, which is where my wife's from. She kind of dragged me from London. I spent about a week in Sicily. Can only really afford a holiday probably once every couple of years. Typically you can find me in an office in Old Town in Vilnius right now, yes.
Okay. So, great that you came to Berlin. For the Sales Creator Content Party we're doing today, the two of us, we're going to talk about, a few things, but I'd love to hear about the video strategy or lack of strategy or the issues you have, typically with video as a founder. And we'll talk a bit also about the journey of your company, Salesforge, from 0 to 3 million in 1 year. So pretty good. And but before we do that, can you tell us a bit more about you, who you are, and why you're here?
Sure. So Frank Sondors, I've been in sales for about a decade or so. Mm-hmm. In my previous gig prior to running this company called Salesforge, I was a VP sales, had about a sales team of 50 people, was scaling a company from C to Series A. Back in those days, like 2021 or so, it was growth at all costs. So essentially, by hiring more people, ultimately, that was the main lever to target attainment, pipeline, revenue, etc. And that's where I essentially thought to myself, damn, why are we hiring all these individuals? Especially considering the fact that if you've been in sales management or if you just been in frontline sales, you know that typically about 20 to 40% of people in sales are actually driving majority of the revenue. Mm-hmm. Or the other way I typically like to say this is that only 1 in 10 salespeople that you typically hire is really natural at what they do. 2 to 3 people can be trained up. And then 60% is what's called dead wood typically in my line of business. That means you're not designed for this, or you're not coachable, you're etc. So yeah, one out of 10, you're just natural. There are people like that. 2 to 3 people are like a sponge. They get in the feedback. And then so the 60% essentially is the waste or the what's not accurate to the business. And the only reason why you're hiring is you need to hit that number. And even if they're gonna deliver a few dollars, euros, whatever that is, you're still going to hire them because the VCs are breathing down your neck, right? Yeah. Typically. So I thought to myself, what if there was a different way of scaling revenue at the companies, but with the least headcount possible? That's why I started a company called Salesforge with a couple of co-founders. And we are really on a mission to really help companies to be lean and mean in the world of sales, and specifically in pipeline generation. So we've been building quite a lot over the last 2 years, meaning we have about 7 products right now. So unlike, a typical company just has one product and that product just grows. Which is what we call this super app concept. We're doing what we call more sort of modularly, or what's called a software compound model, where you build one software, then you build a second one, the third one, and you sell at the same customer, same user. So these are highly complementary products, and it's like an Apple ecosystem.
So, because our sponsor is A2 Media for this company, so Ademola is our guy who's gonna help us with the video, and so. He typically helps founders with their video strategy, and that's exactly the case we have here. So we're in a spot here in Berlin. We're having cameras rolling and everything. We're sending all this to this guy, and he's taking care of making it something amazing. So what's your strategy kind of for making sure that you produce video and that it's actually reaching the goals you have for marketing?
Yep. I think one thing I could just say, so if you're working a typical software business or any other business, and if you just go to your Google Analytics and you would just stack rank the highest converting channels, you will see that YouTube organic is typically one of the top 3 probably highest converting channels for your business. And you typically think from like, if you're, let's say my ideal customer, right? And I'm selling to you, I'm trying to figure out where do you spend most of your time And so if you spend most of your time, let's say on LinkedIn, or you spend most of your time on YouTube, like all these places, typically what people do when they're trying to learn like how to send, for example, an email, or how to reach out to a prospect, where to get leads, etc., people educate themselves, right? So doing videos felt always naturally, pretty much from day 0 when we started the company. So the first video would be just like, hey, here's a demo of my product. And then it would go down to specific maybe feature, etc. So these would be like, the initial videos would be just like a few demos that you would do as a founder, right? And so I'm a big believer in founder-led sales, essentially. And a part of that, you also need to explain to every single prospect, how does your product work and what are the pains that it's solving, etc. So typically you would start from a kind of range pitching your product really. But later on, you're going kind of different sort of, I would say, tackling the pain points of generating meetings. So typically in our realm, because for now we just do email, even though we're gonna soon do also LinkedIn. But like on email front, it typically say there's 4 pillars of being successful in writing really good emails. On one hand, that's the copy part. So we can talk endlessly about the copy on YouTube and different angles to kind of reach out to people, whether it's a template, whether it's an AI email, whatever that is, right? And there's a lot that you can do. So that's one pillar. Second pillar is using what I call the right software to actually engage with prospects. Some people still use MailChimp today to send a cold email to their prospects, and it's kind of very awkward. So yes, I am onboarding some of those customers literally from MailChimp over to Salesforce.
Okay, well, that's great.
So using the right software is also very important. So you can talk about why you need to do things like, email warm-up, why that's a thing, today. That wasn't a thing maybe like, 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Third pillar is the data pillar or the leads or prospecting. Essentially, where do you find the right people? Who are the people that are the most likely to engage back, right? So who actually respond? Is their intent in place, etc. Right? So that's super important. So you can talk about that. And then the final pillar was called the infrastructure pillar because of availability issues in the space. So this is how you kind of go deeper. So initially, the founder does a lot of what's called random content, typically talks about a product, and then you figure out the strategy, like how we talk about it. So we've been doing YouTube pretty much since the beginning. So I was the first initial person to naturally take in charge as the founder. My 2 co-founders never did even, actually we did a video, but I was like, only like a month ago. But like initially, like for like 6 months, it was just me trying to do maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of videos per month. And then what happened then is there was this person named Simon. Simon essentially is a guy. He's also based in Lithuania, and so he sent me a cold email using competitive software, and that email landed in spam. And I messaged him back how to improve his usability, etc. Simon became a customer, but then he said, "Hey, I actually do TikToks for businesses. Do you want to run a TikTok channel?" And so initially we started the relationship on the TikTok front, but we understood after running TikTok for about 6 months with him that we're not reaching really our ICP. So the strategy there was just like entertaining videos about email, etc. So that's what he was doing. And I thought to myself, damn, he's like really good on generally like on the video front, but it's just the wrong platform. What if you would just do it on YouTube? So I said, Simon, how about you just become our head of YouTube full time and you just invest time and just, you do like 3 to 6 videos per week. So that's how it transitioned. Now there's 2 people that generate content for the channel. But like YouTube is just like one realm. But naturally, when we shoot a video, like any video that we would do, we look into how can we make sure this video goes on LinkedIn and X and YouTube. But yeah, today, like I say, for us, the #1 conversion channel is YouTube.
I've done video, and video is such a tough nut to crack in my opinion, because it's like people feel like, hey, video is about the gear, the camera, shooting and everything and acting. But I think most of the video is about the editing, the post-production. So what's your play there? Do you have like freelancers you work with, or what's the play to actually get these rough videos? If I think about it, like right now we're talking, there's 3 cameras on us, plus another one. If we just put that out online, it's not going to be nice at all. But then you have the music, the effects, the captions, like everything, all the subtitles. So what's your tactic there? What's your play?
Good question. So as I said, so right now there's 2 people that are always in front of cameras. That's the founder, which is me. So I would do a lot of founder-led content, live streams with other businesses, prospects, etc. Something where it makes sense for the founder to be in play. And then we have Simon. Simon will do like everything about outbound, kind of specifically focusing for email for now. And so what happens then is we shoot a video. So let's say if it's a webinar, we wouldn't really edit it. There's no really need in that because it's just raw and people like it raw, especially when we do if you do a live stream, right? So there's no need for post-production there. But where there is definitely a huge need, and this is where Simon does it. Simon does about 6, 7 videos per week. And Simon doesn't do any editing typically. So he would do editing if it's like light editing, but we have to do a lot of editing. So yes, majority of the time spent is post-production. Yes, so there's the music bit, there's the visuals, the special effects, the thumbnail, naturally also doing the research on what should be the right title for the video, because we don't just optimize for YouTube, but you have to also optimize for Google. Right, so when somebody searches, how to write a cold email, we want to rank in Google, right, with our video. And then the second thing that people don't think about is ChatGPT. So, like what people typically would prompt in ChatGPT is like how to write a cold email, blah, 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 or this and that. ChatGPT will show you a YouTube video. So we do appear in ChatGPT quite a lot. So you also have to optimize not just for search, for YouTube, but also for what's called generative engine optimization to make sure your perplexity, etc. So that's what we're trying to do. So naturally, we focus a lot on kind of the space that we're in, but we also actually go beyond the category where we actually do also review other tools in space. So there's like multiple strategies that we do, but yes, so because we are very aggressive when it comes to videos, in the last 2 years, we produced right now over 500 videos.
Okay.
And maybe our channel has about, a few thousand subscribers right now. That's not what we're really optimizing for, just to get more. Of course, you should optimize that, but we're really optimizing towards more views being indexed, naturally in Google, stuff like that. Having high quality videos, but also some of these videos also serve the purpose of being on our website.
Yeah. Okay.
Because YouTube goes hand in hand with everything that you do when it comes to content, also when it comes to blogs. So we do a lot of programmatic SEO.
Yeah.
So that means there's a structure in place where we can review tools or agencies, whatever. We have directories, etc. So for each of the components, we also produce a lot of videos that we put, on the article. Because when you have naturally a video on top of the article, it builds your authority a bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, fun fact, we sometimes review our competitors, and competitors get demos because of our great videos. So yeah,
that's good, but not that good. But yeah, that's so
that's all right.
And so yeah, I just want to talk to the audience. There is that our sponsor A2 Media is pretty much tackling all these topics. So you mentioned something about all the complexity of making sure you rank well on the generative engines. All these things are actually topics that are, when you start digging into video, you realize how complicated it is. So if you want to go and check them out, we're going to put the link in below the video. And they really basically take any kind of raw material and turn it into your vision so you can generate some leads. And so that's something really interesting. One thing I want to talk before wrapping up is also a bit your journey from 0 to 3 million a year. If you had, I don't know, 3 simple tips, and only 3 simple tips for a founder who's listening to us right now, what would they be to go from, hey, I have nothing, to have 1 million or 3 million in my bank account, or as an annual recurring revenue in 12 months?
I could talk probably for like hours on this, but there are a few things that really need to happen. You need to have a big enough of a market and big enough of a pain in the market that you're solving.
Absolutely.
So for example, generating meetings is one of the biggest problems that the business typically has in B2B. You need pipeline, you need meetings, and things are changing constantly every single time. So big market and big pain within the market. If you're solving that, you are very likely to get big. Second one is to be always in front of your customers. So for me, my ideal customer, so ICP, is on LinkedIn, is on YouTube, is on Reddit, Facebook, etc. So then you need to figure out a strategy. How do you are in these multiple places? Because the more the customer sees you across multiple platforms, the higher the likelihood they will go check out your website, etc. So that's like my high recommendation to, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but to be everywhere. And there's a lot of data to suggest when the brand is in multiple places, then the conversion rates go actually up. The other thing that a lot of founders actually do as a mistake, they're really shy away from customers. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I speak to a lot of early stage founders all the time, and I go access their website, and I want to talk to somebody like immediately on the website. And guess what? A lot of them don't even have like a chat widget on the website. So like simple things like that, where people, a lot of founders try to create barriers between themselves and the customer. Whereas I'm always like the opposite. I will try and give you multiple paths to me or my team. If you go to our website today and you just simply go look on the bottom right, there's an ability to call our team. Literally on the website, you click call, it connects to Slack, and we're talking live in real time with the customer. You can do a real time demo, so never shy away. And I think that's one of the things that, because ultimately people also buy from people, even though we're an agentic company, but like when the human is already in a stage of where they're considering to purchase your product, it's not just about your product, but it's also about the team that's behind the product. Right? Because when you're renting the software, right, when you pay a subscription, you also think about who's behind that software. It's Frank and his team. Am I able to talk to them in real time? What's the support like? And so support is also an underrated thing, also in the early stages. So what does that mean? If you have a problem with my software, you go to chat support, right? So I give you the ability, but how quickly do I respond to you? Right. The speed is so important that people don't appreciate. And so that's not just in support, like supporting you, but also when you, let's say when you are, let's say we would be my lead, right? In my system, you're the lead. How quickly do I engage with you? How quickly do I send you an email? How quickly do I ping you on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, etc.? So like speed is like very important. And that's why, things go up, because we're very fast to execute. There are what's called SLAs, service levels agreements, that you only 2 minutes to fire something, to trigger, to engage, etc. So
I think that these are 3 really good points. And before we wrap up, I just wanted to check, like, if people want to reach out, you kind of have the answer, like wherever they are, they're going to be able to reach out to you. But what's the best way, what's the fastest channel you're going to answer if people have questions for you?
LinkedIn, probably.
LinkedIn?
Yes.
So reach out to LinkedIn. So I'll put the link.
Also no website.
So I'll put links to the website and LinkedIn. But thank you so much, Frank, for joining this party with us. It was super interesting to learn from you. And enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.